Thank you, Mani. Good evening, everyone. Am I audible? Hi, Tanmay. Okay. All right. Okay. So before we start, a few instructions of how the online seminar will happen. Okay. Purna has a question. I'm muted. Can you fix this, please? Anybody else who feels is muted and has some issue with that? Okay. So the way, yeah, right. So all of you are muted. Right. Okay. Saurabh, Vidya, Prashant. Okay. In fact, all of you are muted. Okay. Will not be able to give audio control to all of you because it'll turn chaotic. A lot of people speaking at the same time. Okay. So what we'll do is that you can type in your queries. You can respond the same way you're doing it right now. All right. Okay. So how many of you are here with a lot of questions of how to crack GRE Quant? Okay, Ranjot, Sagar. Anybody else? Bhargav with a few. Okay. Priyanka, Jay. Okay, Prashant has no idea. All right. Okay. So all of you are expecting to get them answered, right? Okay. I'll definitely answer all of them. Okay. Anything related to Quant and anything related to GRE. Okay. I'll answer all of them. We'll discuss about GRE as as we come to the end of the seminar. Okay. But in return, I expect something from all of you. Anybody knows what that is? No, Tanmay, that's not it. Okay, Asna, no, I don't expect you to get 170 today. Prashant, no, not good GI score today. Yeah, Priyanka, I'll repeat the question. What do I expect in return? If I answer all your questions, I expect something in return. Right, Aman, active participation. Radhakrishnan, Aman, right? Okay, so I want all of you to be actively participating in today's online seminar. Okay, and before we get started, if you have a notebook and pen nearby, that'll also be good. Okay, we'll look at few questions. Okay, just for illustration, just for explanation, we'll look at few questions also. All right. Okay. So before we get started, I'd like all of you to participate in few polls. Okay. So when are you planning to take your GRE? When mostly are what's the most likely date of you taking up the GRE? Okay. Jay says within a month. Prashant is taking in April. Fateh 20th March, Bhargav within a month, okay. Alright, Tanmay has his test on Friday. Okay, all the best Tanmay. Ranjot in June, okay. I see a lot of you have answered, 90% of you have answered it. Can I go ahead and close the poll? Okay. So how many of you want to see the results of the poll? Okay. So I'll just share it with you. All right. So ready to participate in another poll? What is your current level of GRE preparation? Tanmay says bring it on. Okay. So I want you to show the same kind of energy when I ask you questions. Okay, Priyank, that's all right. You're just getting started, that's fine. Okay, Dharma says just started, kind of newbie. Okay, Tanmay, Pranshu has a question. Tanmay, how much are you expecting at this stage? Okay, Geeta has just started. Radhakrishna is almost done. Bhargav is middle of it. Okay. So I'll close this one also. Okay, Tanmay says 305. Okay, and how much are you expecting in Quant, Tanmay? Okay, Aman is saying I haven't started and plan to take it in a month's time. Is it sufficient time to take the GRE? I fear it is not, Aman. Okay, but after the online seminar you can talk with the student counselor and maybe they can help you out. Okay, Tanmay is saying 160 out of 170 in GRE Quant. Okay, so shall I close this poll, guys? Okay. So what do you expect? How many of you? What is your guess? Not yet started and just started. What percentage will that be? Okay. I'll just share it. I think some of you are enjoying this. Okay. All right. So we'll quickly move on to the online seminar. Okay. So this is your first question. I normally start the online seminar with this. Okay. Now this is solve this for x and y. 6% of x got 800 and 2% of y got 170. Okay. Now before you start calculating all this, I like to make it clear that I like to give you a hint. Okay. 800 was the maximum score in the old GRE pattern, and 170 is the maximum score in the new GRE pattern. Okay. So in that case, what does x and y mean? Fateh is saying students. That's exactly right, Fateh. Okay. So 6% of the students, okay, who wrote the old GRE, they used to get 800 in Quant. And currently, of all the people who are writing GRE, only 2% of them are getting 170 in Quant. Right by above, total students appearing. Okay. So what does that mean? Has GRE gotten easier or more difficult? Ranchu says difficult. Bhavana says more difficult. Right. So comparatively, it has become slightly more difficult. Okay, it's a no-brainer question. Okay. All right. Now, how many of you feel you're very good at maths? Okay, Amit, Saurabh, Dharma, Bhanu, Aniket. Okay, Tanmay says not materialist though. Purna Sai. Okay. Now, being good at maths and scoring 170 in Quant, they're very different. Okay, being good in maths will not guarantee 170 in Quant. Okay. Now we'll today we'll see what is that you can do if you want to get 170 in Quant. Okay, how many of you want to get 170 in Quant? Okay, Fateh, Prashant, Prashnu. It's definitely possible, Vidya. Monica. Okay, Aman says obviously all would want to get it. Okay. Aniket says at least 165. Okay, Satish says I really, I badly want 170. Okay. So yes, it is possible, Vidya. You can get 170 in quant, and a lot of students from GREH have got 170 in quant. Okay, I'll be sharing their experiences also as we move along. Okay, so today's seminar is going to focus only on that. Okay, so if the foremost thing for you to be able to score 170 in quant, okay, or do well in quant, is to be able to visualize questions. Okay, now what does visualization mean? Visualizing a question, what does that mean? Is understanding it, paint a mental picture of the problem, says Aman. Interpreting and understanding, says Bhargav. Analyzing, says Prashant. Seeing through the problem, says Priyank. Understanding the logic, says Fateh. Approaching it, says Priyank. Understanding it instantaneously. Okay, you need not understand it instantaneously. Okay. Monica says practical thinking, imagining, plugging the values, thinking, understanding a picture by vision, making a structure in mind. Okay, all right. Okay, so you need to understand what the question actually is, right? You need to visualize what is what is that you need to find out, right? So there will be so many things given. To be able to break it down into simple things, to be able to write it in the form of equation, right? So that is visualization. Okay, what is the what is the meaning of the question? That is visualization. Okay. Now, how many of you have your notebooks and pens ready? Okay, are you ready to solve a few questions? Right. So Aman says bring it on. Okay. So try solving this question. What is the area of the regular hexagon ABCDEF inscribed in the circle of circumference 8 pi? Okay, so this thing looks like 8n, it is 8 pi. You can just quickly try. Okay, Priyank has an answer. He says 64 root 3. Okay, Priyank, you can try once again. That's not the right answer. Right, very close, Priyank. Asna has the answer, 24 root 3. Ranjot, 24 root 3. Gaurav also says 24 root 3. Okay, some of you said 24, some of you said 24 root 3. I have other answers like 72, 48, 48, 16 root 3. Alright, okay. So the right answer is 24 root 3. Okay, so Aman is saying 16 pi is the area of the circle. Don't know how to proceed after that. Okay, so how many of you knew the formulas but were not able to understand how to proceed? Okay, Aman is Aman, Pranshu. Okay, anybody else who could not go ahead with the question? Okay, Purna, Prashant got confused, somewhat confusing says Swati. Okay, Fateh also slightly confused. Okay, is that all? Okay, Dharma says I just derived everything from the basics. Got it though. Okay, sure, Sandeep. I'll explain it to you. Okay, so what you have to do is you have to find out the area of the regular hexagon, right? Now the area of the regular hexagon is 6 times the triangle OAB. Am I right? You take this triangle and you multiply that by 6. That is area of the regular hexagon. Okay, so everybody agrees with this? Okay, so now what you have to do is you have to find out area of this triangle. So how do you do that? Okay, now do you know if see this is an equilateral triangle. Okay, Tanmay says half the base into height. Okay, Sandeep is asking how do you find out the area of the triangle. Okay, now I'm telling you this is this is an equilateral triangle. Okay, now but what is OA or OB? Anybody? Okay, Vidya, that's one of the properties. Okay, Asna says radius. Correct. So a lot of you are saying radius. Okay, so now if you know the radius, okay, then the area of the triangle is √3/4 into radius square. Okay, so you have 2 pi r is equal to 8 pi, right? So you have r is equal to 4, correct? Now what you have to do is the area of an equilateral triangle is √3/4 side square. Okay, so in place of a you put 4. Okay, so you'll have the answer 24√3, right? All of you understood it? Okay, all right. So was it an easy question? Okay, Pranshu says forgot √3 in area formula. All right, no problem. Okay, Vidya says if the concept was clear. Okay, all right, no problem. We have a few more questions to try and solve. Okay, so ready for the next one? Yeah. Okay, Sandeep, you can find out the area of you can find out the radius using the formula 2 pi r is equal to 8 pi. Okay, that is circumference. The circumference of the circle is given, that is 8 pi, and the formula of the circumference is 2 pi r. Okay, so from that. Okay, Jeevan, this might be a level 2 question. Okay, so everybody ready? You have your pen to the paper? Okay, so here you go. Question number 2. What is the area of the shaded region? Okay, so what is known as PQRS is a cyclic quadrilateral with circle of center O. Radius is given as R and ST is the height. What is the area of the shaded region? Okay, Karthik, GRE is tough for those who don't practice. Okay, so if you practice, if you prepare properly, if you have good guidance, then I don't think GRE will be tough for you. Okay, so you can try solving this question. Okay, we already have the first answer. Okay, Ranjot is saying it's pi r square minus 2RH. Okay, very close, Ranjot. Try once again. You're welcome, Karthik. Okay, Dharma says pi r square minus 2RH. No, Dharma, very close, but that's not the right answer. Okay, Gaurav says pi r square minus r square minus RH. Right, Gaurav, that is the right answer. Okay, so Aman is asking how. Okay, so before I explain you the answer, how about we give a round of applause for Gaurav. All right. Okay. Okay, Gaurav is saying thank you to all of you. Okay, so how do you start? How many of you could not start with the question? How many of you had difficulty in starting the question? Okay, Swati, Fateh, Kritika. Okay. Okay, went halfway through, says Karthik. Okay, Amal started, got confused midway. Okay, Geeta, Aman says I got till pi square r minus 2h. Okay, Geeta also got confused. Okay, Shrikant was having some difficulty. Okay, Satish got the answer, but a bit late. Okay. Okay, Satish said he could not find pi in the keyboard, so he could not answer it. All right, no problem, Satish. We are happy if you got the answer. Okay, anyway, this is not a competition. Okay. Okay, Viraj is asking, is PQR an equilateral triangle? Okay, now let us look at it. Okay, now how do you approach this question? Okay, is that the area of the shaded region is area of the circle minus area of the two triangles. Correct? So you have a circle, and then you have two. Right, Satish says as simple as that. Okay, now let us find out area of one of the triangles first. Okay, so what is area of this triangle? SPR. Half base into height, half RH. Okay, it's not half RH, RH or HR. It's not 2RH also, it is HR or RH. Right. So you have this is R and this is R. Okay, and you have this triangle. So the the area of triangle is half base into height. Okay, so if you take this as the base, so that is 2R, right? And this is given as the height of the perpendicular. Okay, so you find out area of this triangle in that manner. Okay, now in case of isosceles triangle, how do you find out you have to pay attention to this, that it's a isosceles triangle. There are two lines drawn like that, right? So that two, there you see this. What does this mean? It means that those two sides are equal and it's an isosceles triangle. Okay, now right Dharma, the height is r. Okay, now there's a property of an isosceles triangle, that is, whenever you draw a height, okay, it is the perpendicular bisector. Okay, so in an isosceles triangle, if this is 90, this and this side will be equal. Okay, sorry Vidya. Okay, I'll explain it once again. So you can see that this and this are shown as with two lines, two cuts. That means it's an isosceles triangle. Okay, so in an isosceles triangle, the property is that whenever there's a height, whenever there's a perpendicular, okay, it is also the median. So it's a perpendicular bisector. So you draw this height. In that case, these two sides, will be equally divided. Okay, and what are these sides? Do we know that? Radius. Right. Okay. So now if you have the radius, okay, and this is also the radius, can you find out this side? Or do you need to find out also? You need not find out also. So you find out, area of this triangle is half r into r. So half r square, and that you have this side and this side. So you multiply by that 2, it becomes r square. Am I right? Okay. So then we earlier had RH was the area of the previous triangle, this triangle. Okay, and the area of this triangle is r square. Okay, so what is the area of the shaded region? Pi r square minus this, right? Right? Okay, Asna is asking why do you multiply that by 2? Because both these triangles are same. Okay, so you can multiply that by 2. If you would have calculated for the other other triangle, you would have still got the same answer. All clear? All right. Okay. So how many of you want to try one more question? Okay, Pranshu, Karthik, Saurabh, Ravi Teja, Gaurav. All right. Okay. So Amal is asking, can you subtract the area of quadrilateral from the area of circle? Okay, you could have done that, but how would you find out the area of the quadrilateral? Okay, so we didn't know how to find out that. So we took the approach of using the triangles. Okay, Amal, Google will not help you with all the answers. Okay. So what Google does is, there's some question that somebody has answered somewhere. It just searches it and gives it to you. Google itself does not generate any information. Okay, so you can't rely on Google for getting your answers for GRE. Okay, Radhakrishnan, in just a couple of minutes, we'll start discussing on what you should do to get 170 in quant. Okay. Okay. So ready to solve one more question? All right. Okay. So this one is slightly much easier. Let me see how many of you get it. What is the measure of the angle PSQ? Okay, I see a lot of you answering 30. Somebody said 75. The majority of you are saying 30. It is not 30. Okay, none of you have got the right answer till now. Okay, Krutika Reddy has got the answer. Okay, Satish and Bharat also. Okay, so the answer is 65. Okay, and let's give a round of applause to Krutika Reddy, who got the answer first. Okay, so I see a lot of you jump to the conclusion that the angle is 30. Okay, now the angle is not 30. Okay, how many of you were able to solve this question? Okay, Satish, Saurabh, Bhargav. Okay, and how many of you got stuck? How many of you are not able to approach it? Okay, Geeta solved it. Okay, Ranjot had a calculation error. Okay, Sayan Datta also solved. Okay, Shrikant says I can solve it but need some explanation. Okay, Geeta says 180 minus 115. Okay, yeah, we'll see how you got the answer. Okay, Radhakrishnan says stuck. Sai Prashant got the answer. Aman, no Aman, that is not the right approach. Okay, Gaurav had the subtracting mistakes, silly mistakes. Okay, so shall we see how it is solved? Okay, so how many of you are aware of this property that angles subtended by the same chord are of the same length? Angles subtended by the same chord on the same side of the triangle are of same length. How many of you are aware of that? Okay, Radhakrishnan says got the logic. Ranjot, by same length I mean the same angle. Okay, Karthik says no, sorry, Aman says I learned that in high school. Right, Aman? You have to just use that in your GRE. Okay, forgot that now. Okay, all right. You can refresh through all these concepts while you're preparing for GRE. Okay. So these things are just to make you aware of what all is required for you to get high score in quant. We'll look into this in detail. Okay, Asna is asking, can I repeat the property? Okay, I'll repeat it once again. Okay, the property says the angle subtended by a chord, okay, or by a segment towards the same side of the circle, okay, they are all of the same length. Okay, now you can see that PQ is subtending these four angles: this angle, this angle, this angle, this angle. Okay, and let's draw one more, and this angle. Okay, now what I'm saying is that all those angles, are of the same length. Do you agree with me? Okay. So if you don't agree, well, that's the property. Okay. All right. So now, how do you find out PSQ? You have to find out this angle. Okay. Now you have this angle is 85. So what is this angle? Vertically opposite, right, Karthik? 85, 85, right. So this angle is 85. Okay. Now what is the sum of all the angles in a triangle? Right, 180. Okay. Now if this is 85, this is 30, what will this angle be? Karthik says 180 minus 85 minus 30, right, 65. Okay. Now if this is 65, will this also be 65? Yes. Right. So that is why this angle is 65. Okay. Now some of you said this angle is 30. Okay, can you tell me when will this angle be equal to 30 degrees? Okay, Asna is saying if PS is parallel to QR, right. So only when you know that this side and this side, okay, only when you know that these two lines are parallel, okay, only in that case, this angle will be equal to this angle, okay. And do we know that from the question? No, right. So you don't know that, so you can't take it. You can't assume that. Right, Asna, specifically not mentioned. So we can't assume it. Okay. So everybody is clear with this one? Okay. So last question, with respect to solving examples. Okay. Do you want to take up one more question, or shall we move on and proceed discussing the guidelines to get 170 in quant? How many of you want to try solving this question? Okay, Karthik says discussion. Okay, discuss. Okay, Ranjot wants to solve. Okay, discussion. Okay, so we'll not spend much time on this one, but some of you want to try solving this question. Okay, Radhakrishnan says meanwhile we'll solve. Okay, you just try solving this question. We'll not spend much time on this. Okay. Radius of the circle of circumsphere to the radius of insphere of a cube. And that's column A, and column B is 1.5. Okay, Asna says cannot be determined. Okay, such quick answers. No idea. Gaurav has the answer. Right, 1.5 is okay. Sorry, Gaurav, how can 1.5 be greater than 1.73? Right, Bhupi is saying A is bigger. Fine. Okay, that is the right answer. Okay. So the ratio of the radius of the circumsphere to the radius of the insphere is 1.73. Okay. very quickly going through how it has to be solved. Okay, so you imagine a circumsphere. Okay, so the radius of the circumsphere of the cube, okay, and the length of the diagonal of the cube, okay, they'll be of the same length. Okay, so the length of the diagonal of a cube is root 3a. So that's your answer. And the diameter of the insphere is also equal to the side of the cube. Okay, now in this case it is it will be equal to a. So the ratio between the diameters will be root 3, right? So there's 1.732. All right. So to be able to solve this question, you should be aware or you should be able to visualize the figures. Okay. So what is a circumsphere? So what is a circumsphere? Okay, Sandeep, I don't know the I don't have figures right now. I'll tell you. You can try to visualize it. Okay, touching edges, enclosing circle. Okay, it's not a circle, it's a sphere. Okay, so a circumsphere is that you have a cube inside the sphere such that all the edges of the cube are touching the sphere. Okay, so the cube is inside the sphere and all the edges of the cube are touching the sphere. Okay, are you able to visualize that? Okay, so this is, say, your sphere, something like this. Okay, so are you able to visualize that now, Sandeep? Right? Okay, did you are you able to follow me? Okay, so all right. So say in the same way, what is an insphere? Okay, so you have a cube and within that you have a sphere. So that is an insphere. Okay. So you have a cube and you have a sphere inside that. So now you can see that the diagonal of the cube is same as the diameter of the cube. Diameter of the sphere, right? Correct. So that is this condition. Okay. Now in the second case, when you have a sphere and you have a cube inside it, okay, in that case the diameter of the circumsphere is the diagonal of the cube, right? So that is this condition. Okay. Now when you solve both of them, you will find out your answer. Okay. So did you get it? All of you were able to follow that? Okay. So what did you learn from all this? You solved 4 different questions, right? And each one was different in a different manner, right? So what did you understand? Okay, Karthik says never jump to conclusions. Okay, all right. Okay, Sai says basic higher secondary geometry. Arun says it's complicated. Ranjot says silly mistakes are going to affect my scores. Gaurav says avoid silly mistakes. Sasi says confusing. Bhargav says visualization and approach in system. Amal says need to revise formula. Basics are needed. Mohit says questions are easy. Needs accuracy. Avoid silly mistakes. Need to prepare formulas. Okay. So a lot of you are saying that you need to understand formulas. Okay. Now, but in the formulas in all the 4 questions were fairly very simple formulas, right? So didn't you know the area of a triangle? You definitely knew. Didn't you know the circumference of a circle? You definitely knew it, right? So the problem is not knowing the formulas. Okay, so definitely you should know the formulas, but the problem lies beyond not knowing the formulas. Okay, Radhakrishnan says implementation. Okay, so what you call that is visualization. Okay, so what we started discussing with the online seminar, that visualization is important. Okay, so all that all these questions solving all these questions is a proof to that. Okay, so the question the formulas might be very simple. Okay, we understand 2 things from this, that if you don't know the formulas, if you are weak in your basics, you definitely cannot solve questions. Okay, and the second thing that we understand is that if you know the formulas, that is not sufficient. Okay, you need to be able to visualize the question. You need to be able to understand the question. You should know how to apply the formulas. Okay, now when I asked the question of how much do you want to get in your GRE, okay, a lot of you said that you want to get 170. Okay, now if you want to get 170, formulas will not help you so much. Okay, maybe you'll be able to reach 160. Okay, but definitely you will not be able to get 170. Okay, so I'm not trying to demotivate you or discourage you. Okay, but that is how it is. Okay, and because I'm telling you right now, you will have a lot of time for you to prepare, right? So will you prepare in that way? Okay, Arun says yes. Okay, now I see a lot of you saying yes. Arsha says of course, definitely yes. Okay, so how many of you love maths? How many of you love maths? Okay, Sujay, Dharma. Okay, discrete maths only, says Karthik. Okay, Aman says after engineering I don't love maths. Okay, Tapan. Okay, Arshad likes it but gets stuck with visualization. Okay, Radhakrishnan loves maths. Okay, so if you love maths, getting 170 in quant won't be difficult. So cheer up. Okay, even if you didn't get the questions right, okay, even if you're not able to solve the questions now, it's okay. Okay, because you're not yet prepared, or you are not preparing the right way. Okay, so if you love maths, you can cheer up now. Okay, because all the people who love maths, they definitely get a very high score in quants. Okay, so soak yourself in maths. Okay, and every question that you come across, you have to ask yourself, what if, okay, what if, the conditions given were different? What if, this question was, posed in a different manner? Okay, what if, certain conditions were not given? Will I still be able to solve this question with fewer equations? Okay, so what is the most important part of the question that is allowing you to solve the question? Okay, so what are the things in a question that are supporting elements, and what are the what is the primary element? Okay, what is the question around? Okay, you need to be able to break down the question to very basic level and understand. Okay, and try to solve questions in multiple ways. Okay, and try to find out shorter methods. Okay, you can try discussing different type of questions with your classmates or friends. Okay, anybody who is preparing with for GRE, you can try doing that. Okay, so how many of you have friends along with you preparing for GRE? Okay, Amal has. One other friend says Arshad. Okay, Bhuppi doesn't have. Okay, Aman says friends have given. All right. Aniket has one friend. Okay, Sujay has another friend. Karthik has 4 friends. Okay. Okay, Pranshu says Sujay. Sujay is online now. Okay, Pranshu, is it Sujay Trivedi? Yes. Okay, Sujay also says hi. Okay, so we have 2 friends attending this seminar online together. Okay, anybody else? Anybody else who has a friend in this online seminar? Okay. I too had says, Karthik says his name is Harish. Okay, Yashwant has just joined. He's asking why am I muted. Harish, all the participants are muted. You can use just the way you're chatting, just the way you've sent this question. You can interact with me in the same manner. Okay. Now, when you're preparing, okay, analyzing yourself is very important. Analyzing your preparation is very important. Okay. So what does what should this analysis be all about? Okay, can you tell me a few things that you would like to analyze about yourself, or you would like somebody else to analyze about your preparation? Okay, Ranjot, we'll discuss how many months you should prepare. Okay, Aman says PNC geometry is my weak point. All right. Anybody else? Okay, speed and silly mistakes says Arshad. Swati says geometry. Pranshu says PNC and geometry. Karthik says geometry. Satish says geometry. Silly mistakes and counting says Tanmay. Arithmetic says Sai Kumar. Geometry says Aniket. PNC, data interpretation, problems on ages. Okay. Jeevan is asking, is probability in GRE simple? Okay. Jeevan, probability is actually very simple. Okay. But whether probability will be easy for you in GRE will depend upon how you prepare for it. Okay. If you practice well, okay, if you solve the right questions, then the probability should not be very difficult for you. Okay. So I see a lot of you have difficulties in probability and permutation combination, geometry, data interpretation. Okay. So it's good to be aware. Okay. So you have to be aware what areas you're weak in, where is that you need to practice more, okay, and you should prepare a plan accordingly and prepare, okay, and you need to also understand the maximum difficulty level of a question that you can solve from a particular topic, okay. Now, how many of you know that GRE is an adaptive exam? Aman says section wise adaptive, right? Okay. Arun doesn't know. Okay, Aniket says I know and its rules, the new GRE at least, right? Okay, Srikant is saying can you tell me clearly? Not completely, says Karthik, and Swati also doesn't know. Okay, very briefly we'll look at it. What does adaptive exam mean? Okay. Now there are questions of 5 difficulty levels in your GRE, okay, and you will have in your GRE you will have to solve 2 sections of quant, okay, 2 sections of quant and 2 sections of verbal, okay. Now, depending upon the performance of your performance in the first section of quant, the level of questions in the second section of quant would change, okay. Now, if you get more answers right in the first section, okay, questions will become more difficult in the second section, okay, and also the marks awarded for each question would increase, okay. At the same time, if you get most of your questions wrong in the first section, the questions in the subsequent section would decrease, and also the weightage to each question, okay. Now, this will happen at 5 levels. Question level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, where 5 is the toughest and also carrying the highest weightage, and 1 is the lowest weightage and the least difficult one. Okay. Now, you need to understand what level of difficulty of every topic are you able to solve. Okay, level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What level of difficulty are you able to solve? It is very important. Okay, in case you want to get 170, you need to be able to solve level 5 of most of your for most of your topics. Okay, so are you clear with that? Okay, now a lot of you have written a lot of exams all your life. Right? Okay, how do you know what would be level 5 question like? Okay, so at GREH you can find out. I don't know how it is provided in textbooks. Okay, so anyways, a lot of you appeared for a lot of question exams. Okay, now how is the feeling when you come across a question that you have already done earlier? Vidya says awesome. Sujay says you boost your confidence. Arun says so pleased. Aman says ease of mind. Radhakrishnan says happy. Great, quick and sure. Takes less time. Okay, Amal says first question you gave, I did it yesterday. Okay, Amal is happy. Okay, and I remember Amal was also the first person to solve that question. Am I right, Amal? Okay. So now just imagine that you have that feeling, for again, that you get that feeling again and again during your GRE exam. Okay, you get that feeling for 80% of your questions. Oh, I've done this before. How will that be? Okay, so now how can you make sure that you have this feeling coming for you for a lot of questions? Oh, I've done this, oh, I've done this earlier. How do you prepare for that? How do you prepare for that situation? Aman says more and regular practice, right? Mohit says practice a lot. Arshad says practice. Arun says practice. Exactly right. Okay. So, it's not just practice. Okay. Practice questions that, are most likely to appear in your GRE. Okay. They are called, GRE style questions or questions of the level of GRE. Okay. So, you have to practice a lot of questions. You have to practice a very, very wide variety of questions. Okay. Now, you also, in case, you don't come across questions, that you have prepared earlier. Okay. So, you may not have so much of speed. Okay. So, in that case, what do? You need to have time management strategy. Okay. Now, what is time management strategy? What is time management strategy? Okay. So, no answers yet. Okay. So, you have time with you. You have few minutes with you. Okay. So, to be able to get maximum score from the given amount of time, that is time management strategy, right? How to maximize your score in the given period of time. Okay, Arun says don't linger in the same direction. Okay, Sai Kumar says dividing time equally to each and every question. Okay. Okay, Radhakrishnan says if I have done superb in the first section of quant, will its impact be on other quant section or verbal? Which one? Which comes next? Okay, Radhakrishnan. Okay, very good question. I think it will be helpful to all of everyone. Okay, so the performance of your first section in quant affects only your next section in quant. Okay, it won't affect your verbal section. Okay. Thank you for bringing up that question. Okay, so that is what your time management strategy has to be all about, maximizing your score in the time given to you. Okay, so to be able to do that, you should know when to skip a question. Okay, and also the maximum time you can spend on a particular question. Okay, you should know when to skip, when to mark it for review. Okay, there are some options in GRE where you can mark a question for review, you can go ahead and solve other questions, and you can come back later and look at that question once again. Mohit says don't waste time on a single difficult question, right? Okay. Now, when you're writing your GRE, okay, attitude matters. Okay, on the day of the exam, you may go very well prepared. Okay, but you have to stay calm. Okay, you can't let difficult questions or questions that you don't know or any other thing bother you. Okay, now how many of you watch cricket? Okay, Arun watches. Okay, Karthik also watches. Okay, how many of you are fans of Mahendra Singh Dhoni? Okay, Aman says every Indian, right? How many of you are fans of Mahendra Singh Dhoni? Okay, Satish doesn't like him. Okay, no problem. Mr. Cool says Aman. All right. Cool captain. Okay, now Dhoni has to score 6 runs from 2 balls. Okay, and he misses the 5th ball. What do you think Dhoni will be prepared to do in the last ball? Hit a sixer, right? That's what you expect him to do. Okay, Satish. Anybody else? Anybody else in that position? What would you want him to do? Aman says do or die situation. Right? Stay calm and hit. Okay, so that's exactly what you should do during your exam. Okay, you should not let the performance in previous section bother you. Okay, you should your whatever you're prepared and gone, all that should not bother you. If you're not getting few questions right, okay, it should not bother you. Stay calm, be Mr. Cool, and go and hit a 6. Hit a 6 on every ball. Hit a 6 on every question that you come across. Right? No, Jeevan, all the questions in GRE don't carry equal weightage. Okay? So that's how your attitude should be, during your exam. Okay? And go to the exam only to score as high as you can. Don't get into competitive, mode with, any of your colleagues, friends, or peers. Okay? And each one of us is different when it comes to GRE. Okay? Each one of us have different strengths, right? So you need not get into a competitive mode, okay? And be practical, and don't take the test as a matter of prestige. Okay, I've seen in some colleges students get into that kind of a mode, okay? But that is not necessary, and that's not how it should be. Okay. Now earlier, I told you that we'll be sharing the experiences of those who scored 170 in GRE. Okay, so we have a few tips, from those students who scored 170 in their GRE. Okay, now how many of you are eager to know about that? Okay, Shrikant, the total marks for Quant is 170. Okay, most definitely. All right. Okay. So the first step is that solve questions of higher difficulty. Okay. So why would you do that? Why would you solve more difficult questions? So that the actual exam of GRE looks very easy. Okay. And the other tip is that you solve questions that are lengthy. Okay. So if you practice solving questions which are lengthy in the time given for GRE, okay, you will be able to, you will find that questions in GRE are actually very simple. Okay, so Radhakrishnan is saying I want them to talk at AWA. Sure, Radhakrishnan, we will soon try to arrange something like that. Okay, stay in touch with us, and we'll definitely arrange something for that. Okay, and one more thing is GRE is adaptive, right? And like we discussed earlier, for those who don't do well in the first section, find that the next section is easy. Okay. So you might see that some test takers who have already given their GRE, okay, if they come out saying that GRE Quant is very easy and they scored very less question, very less score, you can go ahead and hit them on the head, and because it's not GRE which is easy. It's that they didn't do well in their GRE. That's why they came across easier questions. Okay, to sum up all of this and how you should prepare for GRE. Okay, make sure that you complete your Quant preparation 4 weeks before your GRE. Okay, now what do you do 4 weeks before your GRE? Okay, so 4 weeks before your GRE you should be revising, and you should be doing GRE style tests. Okay, now somebody was asking me typically how much time does it take to complete the syllabus. Okay, it may take 8 to 10 weeks, that is 2 to 2.5 months. Okay, and in case you need to start with your basics, you need to brush up your basics. In that case, it may take 1 or 2 months extra. Okay, and and just remember that each one of us is different when it comes to GRE. Okay, and make sure that you don't panic, and you are confident during the day of the exam. You will definitely be able to score 170. Okay. Now how many of you are eager to know that how is that students who prepared with GREH, they were able to score 170? What is that they were doing? How is that they were preparing? How many of you would like to know that? Okay, Radhakrishnan, Aman, Swati, Sai Kumar, Karthik, all of you, Anutej. Okay, so at this stage, I'll hand over the mic to Mr. Mani Kumar. Okay, so he has very great knowledge about the training programs. Okay, he's a product expert. Okay, so I'll hand over the mic to him, and he will explain how GREH can help you. How do students prepare with GREH?